And we welcome you to ACC Basketball right here on ACC Network, presented by Food Lion, the official grocer of the Atlantic Coast Conference. How do we get a triple header underway? Well, let's do it during rush hour. Second meeting of the regular season between the Orange of Syracuse and the Clemson Tigers. And after home wins last night by Pittsburgh and Georgia Tech, here's a look at the updated ACC standings. And we ought to mention Virginia Tech's announced that their final regular season game won't be played. So the Hokies of Mike Young are done at 9-4 in the loop. You see Clemson at 9-5, still a chance to catch that fourth double bye in Greensboro. And Syracuse, well, everything counts for the Orange, including Monday night's win over North Carolina. Great to be with Chris Spatola, West Durham. We thank you for being a part of our coverage here this afternoon. Chris, these two teams played once. Clemson got the win. But by their very being, they're very different basketball teams.
They are. They certainly are. Different defensively, different with their depth. You know, Clemson goes a lot deeper into their lineup. Now, the back half of that lineup, Brad Brownell will play who he's feeling better about. Syracuse a lot thinner. That back half not as productive, not as many options for Jim Boeheim. See the numbers here from the first matchup, and the bench point sticks out. Turnovers as well. Wes, you know, Syracuse always wins the turnover battle. It did not manifest in this game, obviously, as you said. Clemson winning.
And you see Kadari Richmond, the freshman from Brooklyn, who had the double-figure assist the other night against North Carolina, on the bike to start the game. We've been told he has some knee soreness. He will try and give it a go. Guerrier on the floor to start. Marek Dolezaj's got a bum trigger finger on the left hand, and he's also got it taped up and given it a go in the final regular season game of the year here for the Orange. Clemson wearing gray, the alternate jersey, if you will, Chris. And Buddy Boeheim off a big night on Monday dumps it to Dolezaj, and back for Guerrier's three to start. And the rebound for Tyson and the Tigers. Here's the Clemson lineup with Trapp, Honor, Hemingway, Hunter Tyson, and of course the senior Amir Sims, who will take his final bow at Littlejohn on Saturday against Pittsburgh. And the missed three. Sims crashes the glass. Stick back won't go. Tyson's tip does. And a look at the Orange lineup that features Gerard, Boeheim, Griffin, Guerrier, and of course Dolezaj playing in his final regular season home game. Boeheim a three, and the Orange in front.
You can't leave him. He's coming off a game where he just had 29. And any penetration, any shot, anything, you cannot leave Buddy Boeheim. When he scores and scores well, it opens everything up for this Syracuse team.
Yep, sure does. And the other night, he was fantastic against North Carolina. And the drive by Trapp, and then Tyson got it blocked in traffic. And here come the Orange. Chris, how important you think it is for Buddy to hit the first one after the big night against Carolina? Well, heck, second one hit the front rim.
Well, and it's not only that, Wes. It's not just making shots, it's taking shots. He's got to be aggressive. You know, his volume has gone up because they've needed his shooting, his scoring, because of what it does. I mean, it stretches the floor. It opens everything up for the rest of these guys.
Here's Boeheim winding again with the ball. Guerrier wastes no time. And Tyson does a good job gathering it.
And those shots are going to be there because of the way that Clemson, you know, their man-to-man in some ways reflects a zone. You know, they're trying to plug gaps. They're trying to keep you on that perimeter. There are going to be some shots that Syracuse will have.
Sims has it rattle off. That's a pretty good look, don't you think, for Sims in that zone, Chris?
He's had a couple to start this game.
And Amir Sims hauls down another rebound. Almost 3 minutes into the first half. Clemson won the first time, 78-61. That was right out about a month ago at Littlejohn. Bounce pass on the baseline. The ball got kicked. It will stay with the Tigers. And a reset with 3 seconds to 20. And there's Marek Dolezaj, of course, playing for Jim Boeheim. With 1,079 wins. And 14-8 this year. Nick Honor, the Fordham transfer. Here's Tyson, back to Sims. Nice return pass. Tyson couldn't finish it against Alan Griffin. Watching Honor play the hedge here against Gerard, and then they threw it away.
Well, they're actually icing it. So they're trying to force that down to the baseline, and just not well handled by Nick Honor.
Here's Gerard. Quick to Boeheim in the corner. Tyson right there. Now Gary will try again. And the rebound for Trapp. Brad Brownell, by the way, maybe the understatement of the basketball season when he said Buddy Boeheim's a tough cover. Right?
There's no question. And you got to guard, he's got Clyde Trapp on him. I think in part you have to guard him with a little bit of size. So, Trapp giving up a few inches. Buddy's so good at shooting over the top.
Offensive foul on the drive by Dolezaj. And we get a timeout on the turnover on the foul.
Here's this ice. So Nick Honor going to get on top of the ball. Amir Sims is there. So when that ball, they're trying to force that thing down to the baseline. And just a bad turnover there by Syracuse.
Well, we welcome you to the Dome in Central New York with Chris Spatola, West Durham. We welcome those of you that have seen Virginia beat High Point in lacrosse this afternoon. Thanks to Anish Shroff and Paul Carcaterra for landing the plane for us. We get the second meeting of the year between the Tigers and the Orange. Clemson won 78-61 in part, Chris, because of their depth. And that's really on paper one of the big differences between these two teams.
Yeah, Clemson going to play about 9 guys. Now the back half of that rotation, Brad Brownell telling us today he kind of goes with who's playing well. Syracuse not as deep. The other thing that stood out from that first game is 20 turnovers for Clemson, only 8 for Syracuse. Syracuse always wins the turnover battle. Did not manifest in that game. That was one of the best first halves Clemson has played all season long.
Yeah, and now the Orange with an early lead. That foul on Tyson going to the break. You see Kadari Richmond, who's been bothered by a knee. Quincy Guerrier's also been banged up. We got word before the game that Marek Dolezaj has got a bad finger, but he's given it a go here today for Coach Boeheim, whose team, according to Joe Lunardi, must win to stay in the next 4 out of the potential bracket that would be announced a week from Sunday. But early on, it's been a basket by Hunter Tyson, and Buddy Boeheim has hit a 3 to open the scoring for the Orange.
And they just left him. Clyde Trapp has started on Buddy Boeheim. You cannot leave him on a shot, on a loose ball. You have got to stay locked in. You've also got to find him in transition. A couple of his threes the other night, North Carolina did not locate him early, and he toes that line. Transition, offensive rebounds. He is really stroking it over the last 4 games.
Well, and you see the 9 of 20 from the floor, the 6 of 13 from behind the line, the 13 threes attempted, the most in the ACC this season. Chris, the term high-volume shooter certainly applies to Buddy Boeheim.
Well, and it's not even just the makes. He needs to be aggressive. 20 shots against North Carolina is what you need, because the threat of his shot is going to stretch the defense. It opens things up for a team that can bog down offensively at times. It was interesting. Leaky Black, who's 6'8", did not play as much against Buddy Boeheim the other night. Roy Williams deciding to go with more offensive inclined guys who are smaller. One of the things Buddy's doing better, it's not just stroking that 3. He's putting it on the floor, getting it into that paint, and he's really good at shooting over the top.
And he's got 6 games of 20 or more this year, including Monday night. 4 have come against the conference. And the junior from Jamesville, New York, gets it to Kadari Richmond, who spells Gerard at the first media timeout. Out front, Braswell drills the 3. Robert Braswell, who only played 5 minutes the other night against Carolina, knocks down his 10th 3 of the year.
You know, they tell us how good a shooter he is in practice. He has not been a good shooter in games. What a bonus that is to hit one early here from Braswell.
10 of 41 from the floor now behind the line. And Clemson lost it in the corner. Hemingway and Sims down there scrambling with Dolajai among others. First turnover on Brad Brownell's team. He won career grin number 200 with the Tigers. He's already Clemson's longest tenured and winningest coach in season 11 in the upstate. Here's Richmond. Now Griffin to Buddy Boeheim. Working on Trapp. 10 to shoot. And Griffin and a catch and shoot three, Chris. Tigers get the rebound.
And again, Trapp helps off. I know that's what the normal convention of your defense is. You cannot react to penetration. You have got to stay home on Buddy Boeheim.
Trapp misses badly on a three, and Braswell the rebound. Chris, they say styles make fights. We're getting a look at the differential here early. Clemson in a drought as Griffin knocks down the three. It's 9-2 in favor of the Orange.
Boy, do they need to see that. He has been feast or famine of late. 26 against Georgia Tech. An outstanding first half. He goes 1 for 10 the other night against North Carolina.
Yeah, he was hitless in all 5 threes, too. Good start for the Orange, especially from behind the line. Trap for Sims. Reroutes and scores with the right hand. Amir Sims, the third best field goal shooter in the ACC, gives Clemson their first points in the last 5.5 minutes. Richmond a hanger. Spins out. Knocked out of bounds. Braswell. It'll belong to the Tigers. Don't forget, more basketball to come, presented by Food Line. NC State Notre Dame is next from South Bend with Jay Alter and Malcolm Huckabee. And then Mike Monaco and Dan Bonner open BC's Florida swing, Chris, in Tallahassee against number 11 Florida State. Scott Spinelli got the win against Notre Dame in his first game as their interim head coach last Saturday. You get a foul on the Orange as Clemson was attacking. And Jim Boeheim looking on. Don't forget those games available also on the ESPN app as well as live here on the ACC network. John Newman has come on the floor for the Tigers. Alamir Dawes out there as well, and Hemingway deep off the back iron for Griffin. Here is Richmond. Changes the game for him, Chris, in some ways.
They're better when Kadari Richmond is on the floor.
Richmond spinning and will draw the foul. I think Dawes got him.
You know, there are things that he can do just instinctively, athletically, that Joe Girard can't. And they tell me that the difference between the two, well, Joe Girard can knock down a shot. Well, that hasn't been a difference maker this year because Joe Girard has not hit shots consistently. They are better, Syracuse, with this guy on the floor. Now, you know, a lot of Syracuse Nation is hot and bothered over lineups and this and that.
Right.
And the question I would ask you, Wes, you've known Jim Boeheim a long time. He's been doing this for almost 50 years, and he's the foremost supporter of the status quo. He doesn't change lineups to begin with.
Right.
So why is he going to do it now, 25 games into the season? And potentially, by the way, lose Joe Girard mentally. Calm down, all right? He plays a lot. He's in the game early. Like, you got to calm down.
Here's Sims in traffic. I think you're right. I think Richmond has accepted that, hey, I'm a freshman. Girard's a sophomore. There's a deep three out front. Dawes not answered. And Newman had the rebound. I think that'll get us to a timeout. But I think you bring up a really good point about Richmond and Girard and Boeheim's working knowledge of his basketball team. Hey, guy's in the Hall of Fame for a reason. His team's
yes,
up early,
is.
too. ACC Network Basketball is presented by Food Lion, the official grocer of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Senior Day afternoon, if you will, on a Wednesday here in Central New York. Barama Sidibe, Marek Dolezaj, Chris Laval, and Nick Giancola honored as seniors on the roster for Jim Boeheim before the game. Kadari Richmond, who's playing through a little knee soreness, stays on the floor with Griffin. And John Newman in the ball game early for Brad Brownell, misses the jumper off the baseline out of bounds. Tigers are fighting it early, just 2 for 14 from the floor. Chris, 9 of Syracuse's 10 shots have been threes early.
That's why I say that this Clemson defense, you're going to have to hit some shots. You're going to have to beat it over the top at times.
There's a knock away by Dawes, recovered, and back to Alamir for the layup. It's right on Spatola's cue. Tiger defense gets a pick and a layup. Richmond. And tried to make the save. And Jeffrey Clark says he stepped on the end line. Back to the Tigers it goes with about 9 minutes gone.
Here we go, Pep.
Chase Hunter's come in the ball game for the Tigers, wearing number 3. So is Jonathan Baer, the big 7-footer, right around the foul line area. Here's Newman left open, knocks down the 3. Big bucket off the Tiger bench, huh?
Yeah, that corner's open. You attack that ACC logo, that middle, that skip to the corner is open.
Tigers to within 2. Griffin. Boeheim saved it out near the timeline. Here's Richmond with 5 to shoot. Step back. Griffin the rebound. And then, boy, nice play by Hunter. Halfway home in the first half and a 2-point game. There's Hunter a 3. Is Clemson settling a little bit here, Chris, at times offensively?
You know, a zone will make you do that, Wes. And, you know, it's always like that first or second time out where a coach has to say, look, it's okay to drive a zone. It's okay to throw that ball to the middle, to penetrate with either the pass or the dribble. Those shots are going to be there. And I think sometimes guys come in off the bench in particular, Wes, and their eyes light up because they're open. Yeah. A lot of times against this Syracuse zone, you're open for a reason.
There's Jesse Edwards, who played very well the other night. He's averaged about 24 minutes in the last 2 ball games, and P.J. Hall has also checked in, 24 for Clemson in our shot there. P.J. Hall's not played in the last 2 ball games after seeing 6 minutes of action in Atlanta against Georgia Tech. Guerrier on a nice pass off the baseline, scores easily for the Orange.
On a team that doesn't have a lot of muscle, Quincy Guerrier is the muscle for Syracuse.
Standing 3 from the perimeter. Knocked out. Dawes back for Hall, and he's fouled. Good recognition by Alamir Dawes off his missed shot.
Well, that's where the
Edwards commits the foul.
Yeah, that's where the penetration can really, you force help, particularly from that back line to react to your drive. And like you said, Alamir Dawes, if he doesn't play well against Miami, they don't win that game. The guy who was starting for Brad Brownell earlier in the year was taken out of the lineup, I think, Brownell likes the combo of Trapp and Nick Honor, but Alamir Daw is only a sophomore, really talented, good athlete, and learning how to play that point guard position.
Yeah, P.J. Hall misses just his third free throw of the year. Freshman from Spartanburg, South Carolina, gets his first points. Three-point game. Tigers are using the bench here too, Chris. They realize the advantage. Can it be productive, though, is probably the question we got to answer before we're done here today. Gerard playing with Richmond in the lineup. Here's Braswell, who had a 3 early. Can't add a 2. Guerrier the rebound. Back up strong, and Hall held his ground and gets the rebound. Here's Hall again. Over the top, left it short. Sims tried to scrape away the rebound. We get a whistle and a foul.
Sims was open, and I think Hall saw him, but you can't hesitate. Great entry pass there, and Sims was open because Braswell was late on his rotation down, and that's got to be immediate.
Baseline inbounds for the Tigers, who trail 3. Trying to find the crease here. There's Sims. Trying to get into traffic, had it scraped away, and a whistle and a foul. Jeff Anderson, I think, has ticketed Braswell with his second.
But that's the Jesse Edwards effect. If that's Marek Dolajai in the middle there, I think Sims goes right into his chest. But because he saw the length of Jesse Edwards there at the rim, it was a deterrent.
And Braswell will check out with the second foul at the 8:06 mark. Buddy Boeheim's come back on the floor. Nick Honor, quiet early. Foul line jumper short. Hall couldn't collect it, and it rolled to the far side to go out of bounds. Wow. Under 8. Joe Lenardi brings us up to speed on where the Orange fits in his bracket when we continue. Good ball game, a 3-point decision so far. Syracuse a 3-point lead on Clemson, the under 8 media timeout. Okay, Chris, we said at the top, Joe Lenardi says there's value in everything Syracuse is going to do, so he was good enough to get us an update.
Let's do the bracket math for the Orange. They keep their season alive, at least from an at-large perspective, by beating North Carolina, and must repeat that tonight against Clemson to keep the momentum going. Realistically, I think they need 2 more wins after that, which would be a 4-game winning streak to stay on the bubble and in the meaningful conversation for an at-large bid. A tall task to be sure, but after tonight, they might be halfway there.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Off the dead ball. Tigers missed the shot. Orange with the rebound and the 3-point advantage. Chris, you agree?
Well, first of all, was Joe Lenardi doing that pro bono? Because if he wasn't, why the extreme close-up? I mean, he's pulling in the big bucks. Can we pop for the full-size camera? Why do we need to get that close to Joe's face, first of all?
Appreciate Joe doing that, though, Chris, nonetheless. Here's Edwards. Shot clock going off, and it's a violation on the Orange. Back to the matter at hand, however. Do you agree with the 4-game streak? You win Monday, you win today, then throw 2 more on the fire in Greensboro?
I do. And here's the unfortunate thing about games that have been canceled for Syracuse, Wes. They've lost out on 2 games with Louisville, which would have been without Malik Williams in those games. And they lost a game against Florida State at home. Now, would they have won all 3 of those? Probably not. But they certainly could have won 2 of 3. So that's where, yeah, I agree with Joe, and it's in part a byproduct, A, of how Syracuse has played, but B, a product of the way this season has gone in terms of games postponed or canceled.
By the way, Jesse Edwards just picked up his second, Chris, at the 6:56 mark, and P.J. Hall back to the line, where his only point has been scored here in this first half. And that one rattles around and bounces out for P.J. as here comes Marek Dolezaj back. Remember, we told you he's playing with a banged up finger on his left hand. But the senior from Bratislava in Slovakia giving it a go. Hall got the back end.
I don't know if I ever would have said it, but 2 fouls on Jesse Edwards is a big loss.
Yeah.
I mean, he was huge in that Carolina win. I thought he changed the game. He's got 16 rebounds in their last 2 games. They are better with him on the floor.
He's playing premium minutes too. I mean, he's averaging almost 25 minutes the last couple ball games. That shows he's earned the confidence of his coach in some respect. Guerrier with 10 to shoot. 2-point game and last touched by the Orange.
You know, you mentioned the confidence of his coach. You know, I was reading stuff after the game the other night, and Coach Boeheim still saying that Jesse Edwards is not ready. And look, no coach is going to intentionally leave a guy off the floor or on the bench if he doesn't believe he can help his team. I think there's a difference between developing and not ready.
Okay.
Jesse Edwards is developing, but he's certainly ready, I think, to at least help this team. You know, look, if he's not ready, then you look around the room and nobody's walking through that door. Well, then, hey, the guy who's the closest to being ready and helping us in that particular spot.
Yeah. Well, he's going to have the remainder of this year to get ready if he's not already, right? And the ball last touched by Hemingway in a corner with Gerard defending. Young man from Amsterdam has played very well. 6.5 points, 8 rebounds, hit half his shots in the last 2 ball games. And of course, had the big ball game Monday night against Carolina. 2-point lead for the Orange under 6 minutes. Chris, we kind of thought it might be low scoring. Not this low scoring, but low scoring nonetheless. And a block by Sims of a Dolezaj drive. Saved to Griffin, and he missed the 3. And trap will be whistled for the charge. First on trap, 4 on Clemson.
Block here by Amir Sims. Had something to say about it too after he was done. You know, we showed the turnover numbers from that last game. Clemson 20 turnovers to Syracuse's 8. Of course, Clemson still won the game. Early, I think the pressure, Wes, from Clemson, particularly on the ball, has bothered Syracuse.
Gerard launches and hits. It's a 2-pointer for Joe Girard. Pushes the lead to 4. Syracuse 4 of 12 now from 3, 5 of 18 overall from the floor. Hemingway missed badly, Bear the rebound. Gerard leads the transition chance and will back it out to set. Look at the field goal percentages. Woo. Gerard and the rebound for Trapp. And fouled by Dolezaj in the middle of the floor. 5 on the Orange.
You know, that's kind of a Euro foul to stop the fast break. But Marek Dolezaj's fouls are at a premium. To me, that's not a good foul.
Especially with Edwards and Braswell already having 2, Chris.
Absolutely.
Hemingway connects. 20th 3 of the year for Alex Hemingway. Came into the ball game 6 of his last 8 from behind the line. He's gotten Clemson to within 1. Boeheim to answer, and does.
Can't go over the top of screens. You've got to stay locked to him. Really good screen and a nice flare off of it to create the space.
Here's Honor. That's deep and short. And Hemingway tried to make the save, did to Sims, and it got knocked away by the Orange. It will stay with the Tigers. Low-scoring game, Chris.
Yeah, and here's this flare screen from Buddy Boeheim. And if you're the defender, you've got to stay locked in. He goes over the top of that screen, and that is too late. Buddy Boeheim, wet.
The Orange seems as good a time as any to remind you about the ACC 3-Point Challenge app presented by New York Life that'll help benefit the local boys and girls clubs. Score points for your school, and after the tournament, the local boys and girls clubs will receive a donation from New York Life based on their affiliated ACC team's final ranking. Not that any records are going to be set so far, Chris, but three's aplenty here in the first half for both schools.
But the 18-14 score and the shooting percentages, what do they say to you, Wes?
Not good. Not good so far. And it's defensive driven. How's that? The shot clock going off. The bank three almost landed. Off the hand of Trapp. Here's Boeheim. Baseline. Sims challenged him. So did Hunter Tyson in a foul call.
Marek Dolezaj is a really good passer. 5 assists in the game the other night against North Carolina, and a really good back cut there. You know, clearly in the timeout, Brad Brownell talking about denying overplaying Buddy Boeheim. Good back cut and a nice find by Dolezaj.
5th foul on Clemson. First on the senior Amir Sims.
You want this? Try. You want that? One.
And Boeheim
Too low.
knocks them both down. 8 for Buddy Boeheim. Six-point game. Trapp traveled with it. Tigers haven't turned it over much, Chris. That's their 4th here in the first half.
Well, the longer you make a team play offense, the more likely they are to make a mistake. And that's what the zone does. It forces ball reversal. It forces you to make decisions you don't normally make. There aren't a lot of teams that play exclusively zone. So the longer you stay in it, the greater chance you're going to err.
There's a foul off the ball on Quincy Guerrier, 6th on Syracuse. Coming up at the break, the State Farm halftime report. Apparently, Mark Packer and I make some sort of appearance, Chris, to discuss ACC Player of the Year. And we'll have highlights and stats for you as well.
Surprise, surprise. I never see you guys on this network, ever.
Thank you. Bless your heart for your patronage. Here is Gerard. Rebounded by Tyson. It's more Packer than me. You've noticed that, right? Catch and shoot 3, Hemingway.
You can always score early, though. A transition 3 or any transition bucket, you don't have to play against that zone.
3-point game. Clemson 17 points equals their lowest scoring half of the year, by the way. Just ahead of 2 to go. Missed jumper from Boeheim, slapped out in a second chance. Griffin has no problem. Neither does Gerard's 3. Another chance. Boeheim left open. Oh, and a front rim miss. A 4th try. Gerard finally converts it.
Brad Brownell.
And Brad Brownell is going crazy at the bench. Wow. Coach of the Tigers not happy. Syracuse has 6 offensive rebounds in the first half. 3 came in their last possession, and Brad Brownell had to have a timeout for his own well-being, if not his team's.
And I don't blame him for being upset. I will offer this. threes, long shots are typically long rebounds, and they're the most unpredictable caroms to judge. It's not a defensive as guys, but it's a little bit of an explanation.
Yeah. I don't think it would hold up well in the meeting room, by the way. Here's Hemingway. Yeah. John Newman got to the iron. It goes out of bounds in the corner and will belong to the Orange with 91 seconds to go. All of our rhetoric not going to sit well with the native of Evansville, Indiana, who, by the way, has done a heck of a job at Clemson, Chris.
Oh, yes, he sure has, and especially this season.
Yep. 6-point game. Griffin tees one up over Hemingway. And the long rebound again collected by the Orange. And now we're going to get a foul on Griffin, crashing the party at the glass. 7 on Syracuse will be free throws. One more offensive rebound for the Orange might have been it for Clemson on the floor, huh? So free throws coming up for the Tigers, and here's Hemingway. 15 of 17 at the line this year. He leads the Tigers with 7 in the first half, Chris. Four-point game, just ahead of a minute to go. Braswell's returned, and Amir Sims wanted it called on the deck. I don't think he's going to be that fortunate.
And there's no need for this. There's just no need. That's not a guy. Braswell's not a guy you have to fly out. Man, that's knowing your personnel. Braswell, 22% from the year on three. He wants to drive that thing. You can close out short, keep him in front. Instead, you give him free throws.
Yep. And he gets 3 here, Chris. And by the way, he's now 12 of 13 at the line this year. Is that on me? I'm just asking. Is that on me? I said he was 12 of 13. He missed. Is that on me? Nope, must not. Got the back end, has 5 in the first half. 6-point game. Dawes. Got it.
Who let the Dawes out?
Oh, no.
Where are my Dawes at?
Three-point lead for the Orange. 10-second differential as we wind down this first half. Braswell again. And Dolezaj.
Stop! He's holding him. He's holding him.
Now they're going to call a foul on the Tigers.
Yeah, I don't know about this call. You can hear the official saying that Hemingway was holding him on the block out, but I mean, you know, look, you give the benefit of the doubt to the guy boxing out there, particularly if Dolezaj's trying to come over the top.
Dolezaj missed the front end. Tigers can take the last shot. Here's Dawes, 7 seconds. Hunter feeds Sims. Missed it from in front. Loose ball. Amir tried to collect, and Syracuse will take the lead to the break. Not very pretty, Mr. Sapatola, in the first half, was it?
No, it was not. Not pretty on either side.
Stay tuned. This halftime report's presented by State Farm. When you want the real deal like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. ACC Network Basketball is presented by Food Lion, official grocer of the ACC. With Chris Patola, Wes Durham, Kristen Hennessy, our producer, Scott Hecht, our director, we bring you the second half of the second meeting of the year with the Orange and the Tigers. Syracuse a 3-point lead. Cold shooting really both ways in the opening 20 minutes. Long three, Boeheim, short, Sims the rebound, and Amir hit it the other way quickly. Honor was scoreless in the first half. Tyson step in two, and the cold shooting for Clemson continues.
Well, it's a lot of perimeter Jays. You know, there were shots to be had on the interior. If you're Clemson, they've got to be more diligent about hitting the middle with the pass or with the dribble. Over half of their shots threes in that first half, and I thought a lot of them were settles.
Clemson starters, Chris, were 4 of 22 in the first half. And Trapp call for the foul. Second on Trapp, first on the Tigers in the half. Joe Girard brings it front court against Nick Honor. Trapp probably a little frustrated. He had a huge ball game the first time they played this year. Three ball from Griffin opens the Orange scoring in half two. Yep.
He can hit some shots, man. I'll tell you what, he can get it going.
There's Tyson, a hard dribble into traffic. Hemingway grazed the iron, and Griffin the rebound. Another catch and shoot. Here we go.
Again, 1 of 10. He was a no-show against North Carolina. The game before that, he had 26. This is kind of the way things have gone with Alan Griffin.
Largest lead of the ball game now for the Tigers. Honor left it on the front rim. I'd find 0 here, Chris. Girard all the way to the rack. And that'll get Brad Brownell to punch a timeout. 7 for Girard. Syracuse has opened the scoring on an 8-0 run to start the half.
If Alan Griffin gets it going, strap in, folks, because it could be a show. 2 threes popping the cork to start this second half. Alan Griffin.
Don't forget the 2021 ACC Women's Tournament underway in Greensboro today. Boston College beat Pitt in the only ball game on the schedule. We'll have the semifinals for you right here on the ACC Network and ESPN app on Saturday at high noon and at 2:30. Beth Mowins, Debbie Antonelli will be there, and they'll also have the championship game on ESPN2 Sunday. So the women's championship underway at the Coliseum in Greensboro. More to come there tomorrow, and the men are headed next Tuesday to the Coliseum complex. Hot start for the Orange. A lot of damage behind the three-point line from Alan Griffin. Now a held ball that will belong to the Tigers.
I remember Wes talking to Brad Brownell about a month or so ago about his team, and he said, you know, we've generally been able to guard teams. Like, we're a pretty good defensive team. We play hard. The question is, can we generate enough points to win?
Right. Here's Sims, and he can't buy one. Amir Sims has but a solitary field goal today. Griffin, another one. And that was pretty well defended, Chris.
There's no doubt. He hits those shots. Now, the problem is when he's still taking those and he's missing.
Here's Tyson at the foul line. Second field goal for the junior Hunter Tyson. Cuts it to a 12-point deficit. Griffin's got 9 in the half. I'd be looking for 0 in the white. There's the lob and the dunk for Guerrier. And Boeheim's team's making it look easy right now. Trap. Tried to shove it inside to Tyson. Boeheim for Griffin. Back for Buddy and a layup. Pretty play.
Clemson's execution against the zone has not been good. There's no penetrating of the zone to the middle. You're not going to be able to beat a zone driving it baseline. And as we know, Syracuse so good at turning teams over. They're just going to eat you alive. You take that thing baseline. Execution, not good. Turning into points for Syracuse on the other end. Buddy Boeheim, the layup in transition.
Well, 16-point lead for the Orange. They have broken it open here at the start of the second half on a 15-2 run, Chris. And it brings us to our food line, food for thought. Not real hard to figure this one out, is it?
It is not. You know, sometimes Alan Griffin can shoot you out of a game, but boy, there are sometimes he can shoot you into a game. And he has created quite the differential to start this second half for Syracuse. Offense hard to come by in that first half. He's made it look easy so far in this second half, Wes.
Yep. 3 threes. Account for 9 points. The Orange have added 6 more as a squad, and Clemson is on the ropes here at the Dome. Hemingway trying to revive him, and does. Knocks down a 3 to give him life over on the Tiger bench. He's got double figures. Chris, when you're built defensively like Clemson is, when you're down 13, it's got to be a two-way game here, right? You got to get stops, but you also got to hit shots now. That's the obvious one. But stuff like that can't happen, right?
No, I mean, that's the breakdown. You know, now they're driving you. You know, the tempo is what you're talking about. The tempo that Clemson creates with his offense and then forces you to take with your offense because of their defense. But there's only so many possessions in the game, and that's why a lead like this, particularly with how Clemson's executing against the zone, it seems almost insurmountable.
Right. Way out front. Alamir Dawes knocks down another one.
By the way, we haven't seen Kadari Richmond. Only played 7 minutes in that first half. He was on the bike a little bit, I guess, trying to work that knee. We have not seen him since he went out.
Griffin lost the handle on it, and then the foul on Tyson diving in for the steal. Second. And there's Braswell on the bench for the Orange. And there is Kadari Richmond. Remember, Dolezaj is playing with a banged up finger. Guerrier's been less than 100% with a knee. Richmond also some soreness in his knee. On the drive, Boeheim, and one.
And that's where the elevation in Buddy's game is starting to come. He's worked so hard at being able to put it on the floor, and he liked that matchup. And he's gotten so good at getting to his spot and then using his length. I mean, he's longer than you think. You know, a good 6'6", a nice touch there off the glass. And when he gets to that second, third level to his game offensively, man, he's going to be a really good player.
Third foul on the Tigers in the half. I love his shot, Chris, and it's easy to say. You like it when it goes in. I just think he's got a great looking stroke.
You can tell he's
travel a long way
gym.
with that. Oh, yeah. There's a 3 ball out on the perimeter. Chase Hunter, his 5th 3 of the year. Clemson's hit 3 of their last 3 from behind the line. 6 minutes gone, but it's a 12-point lead for the Orange. And Boeheim another drive and score. 15 now for Buddy Boeheim. Tigers trying to find a crease again. Dawes. Tyson, a tough catch. Got it blocked by Dolezaj, I believe. Griffin launching and hitting.
There's just not a sense of urgency on Clemson's defense, particularly for guys that Alan Griffin has had a heck of a start to this first half. There got to be an awareness. Where is Alan Griffin?
Yeah.
So on both ends. Here's the block shot on one end. Nice job by Dolezaj coming over, making a play. And, look, that's a tough shot. It's contested, but Sims is late, and Griffin's able to catch because you couldn't get over that screen. There was no talk. And Amir Sims, you wonder if his lack of offense starting to affect his defense. This has not been the Amir Sims that we've seen over the last few games.
Right. Foul on Dolezaj, by the way. First on the orange in the second half. There's Sims going to work for just his second field goal. 97th career start today for Amir Sims. But Clemson's going to need a lot more where that came from. Guerrier trying to get in on the fun. And Chase Hunter runs it down. He'll feed Sims, who'll dunk it down. 4 in a row for Sims. Gerard for Buddy Boeheim. In the lane, and a dunk followed by Guerrier.
Sims is playing off of Guerrier because Guerrier's a non-shooter. The problem is if you lose sight of him, he's going to sneak in behind you like he just did there. And he's Syracuse's leading rebounder.
Tyson with 6, 4 in the half. Chris, I was thinking about our visit with Brad Brownell today where he said, that first half we played against Syracuse might have been one of our best halves of the entire year. Well, you could argue that today's first half might be one of their worst halves of the year, right? Now they're trying to see if they can flip the script here, but a lot of ticks have already gone off this second half clock. Dawes rings the bell again. Clemson's got 4 threes in the second half, which equals their first half total. And a bump and a foul on Sims. Tigers going to need stops to go along with the pickup in the offense, Chris.
Yes, they are. There's that Guerrier putback sneaking behind Amir Sims, and Clemson starting to make shots. Alamir Dawes.
Well, Alan Griffin has been the spark. Syracuse has already scored 30 points here in the second half, Chris.
Well, he hasn't missed a shot. Alan Griffin has come out firing, and he's one of those guys, Wes, once you let him see it go in, it doesn't matter if you got a hand in his face or not. He'd rather shoot with a hand in his face than eat when he's hungry. Alan Griffin really has been the spark to create this separation. A sparse offensive first half from both teams. Alan Griffin got it going here in this second half.
And the food for thought brought to you by Food Lion.
How about that? A little synergy.
So well done on your part. I mean, really, some of your best work. Kadari Richmond, you see, is back on the floor. First time we've seen the freshman in the second half for Coach Boeheim. 10-point game, and both teams starting to ramp it up here a little bit. Orange has been ramped up since the half started. Clemson's joined the fray to cut it to 10. And a lean in by Richmond and a foul. Now, is there going to be a look here, Chris, at did the ball get released before the shot clock?
Yeah, that's certainly what they're looking at. I don't know if that's a foul either. I mean, I think the official anticipated that there was going to be more contact. It was a good shot fake, and obviously he got Hunter Tyson in the air.
What say you, counsel?
I say that I'd rather shoot with a hand in my face than eat when I'm hungry, Wes.
Is it out of his hand? Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's microseconds.
There it is. Yep. So there you go. Foul called on Tyson. And that will be the third on Tyson. Fifth of the half on the Tigers. Syracuse only with one team foul. And Kadari Richmond, who played at Brewster Academy, has had 3 double-figure games against the ACC this year, knocks down the free throw. Boy, get excited about what his future is going to be like here, huh? Wow. 6'5", already 180 pounds, playing out front, long. You see right there at the top of the zone. 11-point lead for the Orange. Chase Hunter working with it. Back for Dawes. Shot clock at 2. And shot clock violation on the Tigers. Chris, what happened with Clemson there? Because the last, 3-4 possessions, they had been really good for Coach Brownell against that zone and getting clean looks.
Yeah, there's times, Wes, where there's a lot of east-west, where they're content to just kind of move the ball around perimeter, and that's fine. Let the ball, see both sides, but at some point, there's got to be a penetrating pass or a penetrating dribble.
There goes Guerrier. P.J. Hall blocked that. And last touched by Guerrier, says Jeffrey Clark. I don't know now. Might need a little more evidence on that. Here's Newman missing from the corner. And Richmond in transition ahead and layup for Griffin. Pretty pass, Kadari Richmond.
That's the other thing too, Wes. Syracuse has gotten out and they've run. Both teams pretty good at getting back, limiting transition in the first half. Outside of Alan Griffin and what he's done, Syracuse getting some stuff in the open floor.
P.J. Hall underneath, got knocked down. Orange collapsing around the big freshman. And Richmond trying to give you the bottom half of the menu as he got in the lane there.
Just things he does you can't teach. I mean, when you're doing this in traffic, when you have the gall to say, I'm going to put it in my legs, go a little hezzy tween in traffic, in that paint, that's next level stuff right there. And again, it's stuff you can't teach. Athletically, physically, that this young man has, that really nobody else on this team has.
Foul was on Hunter, his second. Jim Boeheim said, Chris, back in the fall, he's much more advanced. He can help right now. And I'm basing that earlier on what we were talking about with Jesse Edwards and what the coach said. Kadari Richmond he showed up ready to go here, right? I mean, it's impressive what he's done as a freshman in a supporting role principally for the Orange. And I think it goes back to the question of, you're a better team, but there is a line of pedigree, so to speak, when the head guy's been here 45 years and knows what he wants with a particular team, be it this one, the year before, or the one coming up next year. In relationship to Girard starting and Richmond playing valuable minutes and what have you.
I've never met a coach who has intentionally left a guy who can help him on the bench. But look, this is Coach Boeheim. I mean, Deion Waiters didn't start a game all season. He was the 4th pick in the draft. And a good play right there. That back flow, getting back on defense to make a play, to contest a shot. Nice job there by Alan Griffin.
Dawes to put it in play. Tigers deficit is 15 now with about 8 to go. Sims. Tigers skipping it around, and a strong take by Trapp, who's still scoreless tonight after having a heck of an effort a month ago in the first meeting.
And that was a great challenge by Dolezaj.
Out front, Boeheim. Clyde Trapp had 11 assists the first time they played. Only scored 2 points, but he had 8 rebounds. He was sensational for Clemson. Nice pass, Jonathan Bear. Out front, that got poked away from behind, and Richmond will be ticketed with his first. Second foul on the Orange, who lead by 15. Jim Boeheim looks on at the Dome. His team trying to get their 9th win. Basketball presented by Food Lion, the official grocer of the ACC. Second half at the Carrier Dome, and the Orange lead the Tigers 57-42. Don't forget that the Women's Championship already underway. Everything you need to know about the ACC tournaments, including exclusive Chalk Talks, highlights, games, and prizes, is accessible from the ACC mobile app or logging on to ACCChampHub.com. And Alan Griffin has been the star of stars here in the second half for the home team, Chris.
He has, and this Syracuse defense has really stepped up. That's a rare point in the paint tonight for Clemson.
Yeah.
Syracuse gave up 92 points in their last 2 games in the paint. Up until that bucket, they had only given up 10. Now 12 points in the paint. So been really solid keeping Clemson on that perimeter.
Gary working on Bear. Here's Richmond playing with Dolezaj, Griffin, and Buddy Boeheim. Behind the back, in traffic. And finally collected by the Tigers. And the lead pass got deflected but run down. Clemson trailing 13. And a kick. We'll keep it at the Clemson end of the floor. Well, a win tonight, Joe Lunardi said, would keep Syracuse in that conversation at next 4 out in terms of the bracket. But Orange fans will be living that bubble dream again, Chris. Here we go again, right? With Syracuse in March. Regular season comes to an end. They'll be involved in action more than likely on Wednesday at the ACC tournament. But going to be looking for a couple more wins, according to Joe Lunardi earlier in our show. And seemingly they're here just about every time March rolls around, at least recently. Guerrier fouled on the bang by Sims. 4 on Amir Sims. 7 now on Clemson.
You have to be patient against this Clemson defense, and Syracuse has been patient all day long. This is a really good pass. Such a fundamental play there by Dolezaj. I mean, a bounce pass, obviously the right play to make there. It's not an easy pass,
right?
Especially with how close they were. Well timed, and then Guerrier, he's so good along that baseline. Such a strong player. I said in the first half, a team that doesn't have a whole lot of muscle. Quincy Guerrier is the muscle for this Syracuse team.
Yep, he's got 8, the lead 15. I think Dolezaj is really underrated, Chris, when it comes to what you talked about earlier, the pass, the distribution, understanding where the ball needs to go. Dawes tried to find an alley. St. Bear skips for Hunter, shot fake, and now the 3. And Bear left to follow short. 5.5 to go.
Help right. Help right.
Boeheim with 10 to shoot here, Chris. Now it's Griffin. If that had gone down, you'd have known for sure. Took a 30-foot shot for Alan Griffin to miss his first of the second half.
But taking it at the end of the shot clock doesn't hurt you with time and score what it is right now.
Chase Hunter spots up for his second field goal. Still a 13-point game with 4.5 to go. Counter to the Syracuse play of the day here for Clemson now, with Pittsburgh coming to Littlejohn on Saturday for a noon start. There's a turnover by the Orange. Chris, what's Brad Brownell got to be thinking about? You know, his team came in here winning 5 straight, 6 of 7. One of the better runs in Power 5 basketball.
Well, I think their opponent is looking at this saying maybe we should play more zone in that game. You know, it's crazy because Clemson was so good in terms of executing against the zone in the first matchup.
Yeah. It's a 10-point game with 3:50 to go. Remember, the Orange gave back a pretty sizable lead late the other night against Carolina. I know Jim Boeheim doesn't want to do that here today. His team is led almost from the start. And that dropped in. How about that shot? What a game for Griffin. That is his 6th three and his 8th field goal.
He's had a heck of a night, and it certainly helps when the ball touches every single piece of the rim. Nice.
ACC basketball is presented by Food Lion, the official grocer of the Atlantic Coast Conference. New mask, same attitude, Chris. That's the way I'm looking at the Hall of Famer today, huh?
What a change. It's like a wardrobe change these days. I mean, if you're changing a mask, you're changing your entire profile. Do we know why he went to the change of mask?
I don't know that. But I feel confident that perhaps Mike Waters, Nico Tamarian, one of the Central New York media personalities, Stephen Fonte, will be asking. Brent Axe, they'll probably ask the Hall of Fame coach in season 45. What happened to the clear mask that we were going with there, Coach? Bear out of the corner. The big youngster at 6'10", transfer from UNC Asheville, misses there. 3 minutes to go in a 13-point Syracuse lead.
Will the league be giving out an award for best mask this year? Most valuable MVM this year in the league. I mean, Coach Boeheim would have been there. Obviously, Josh Pastner's in the running.
Josh Pastner's not eligible. That's not a mask.
What?
Fall away from Boeheim. That's correct. It's not a mask. It's a shield. It says so at the top. Face shield. He is very ineligible on a technicality.
It's a very discerning committee.
It is. It's like getting in a tournament. Got to have the right makeup, right? Just don't let anybody in. It's got to be a mask. Pastner's wearing a shield. Boeheim has a mask. You think Pastner will be on my case about that, Spatola?
Of course. Have you heard his argument about the number of teams that deserve to be in the tournament?
Yes,
I can only imagine what his argument is about his mask being voted MVM.
Now, that's the previous mask. And now we've gone to something a little more A little more common ground. 13-point game, under 2 to go. Richmond, give it to Griffin. Let him draw one up. Oh, it's been quite a half for Alan Griffin. It was last touched by Sims. He and Trapp underneath. There it is. Aerodynamic, Chris? You want to go with that?
I like it. More conventional.
Sure. Orange will be, by the way, Syracuse, hold on for the last 98 seconds. Chris is going to finish the regular season 13-1 at home, 7-1 in the ACC at home. Griffin sees another one bounce out. And if you had to guess, by the way, the doubleheader continues, tripleheader continues. Top of the hour, NC State, Notre Dame. From South Bend with Jay Alter and Malcolm Huckabee, and then Mike Monaco, Dan Bonner late night from Tallahassee at 9 o'clock. The Seminoles, after the loss in Chapel Hill, host Boston College. Syracuse's only loss in this building this year is going to be against Pittsburgh. And if you had to pick the only loss this year coming in, I'm not sure you would have drawn the Panthers in your first 4 or 5 guesses.
No, and I definitely would have called a sweep of Syracuse from Pittsburgh.
That ball rattles in. 10-point game, a minute to go. Tigers see how long they can stretch the final 60 seconds. Alan Griffin 22, Buddy Boeheim 17, 39 of the 64. Buddy trying to add to the total. Wolfpack and Irish at the top of the hour from Purcell Pavilion. And Tigers turn it over. Well, Syracuse to 15-8, 9-7, Chris. Clemson will be 15-6, 9-6 with Pittsburgh left.
Well, if you're Syracuse, this is 2 really good wins. I mean, you know, just when you thought they were out, they pull you back in, and here we are. I mean, Syracuse right there.
You're right. And they get an explosive second half from Alan Griffin, don't they? Wow. Gets a double-double, by the way, Chris. His second of the year, 22 points, 10 rebounds. He was 8 of 14 from the floor and 6 of 12 from behind the three-point line.
Yeah, I thought it took them, Syracuse, a minute to settle in against that Clemson pressure in the half court. But once they did, you know, they started to get better quality shots, and then obviously Alan Griffin started the half really, really well.
Well, a quick check of the updated ACC standings. And you see Florida State 10-3. Remember, Virginia Tech's regular season is over at 9-4. The Orange now join Clemson and North Carolina with 9 wins. Tar Heels and Tigers each with a game to play. Chris, enjoyed the ride, my friend. Thanks to Kristen Hennessy, Scott Heck, our producer and director. Stay tuned. Pack and Irish at the top of the hour as the triple header continues on ACC Network.